Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Today we are journaling in my Midori Traveler's Notebook in the regular size. So if you have any creative projects or you want to just journal with me, go grab your journal and let's get started. So we are still reusing this repurposed vertical weekly insert in my Midori Traveler's Notebook in the regular size. And I say this every time, but I've been loving this because we get to recycle an old insert and it's just fun reusing things for a different purpose. Uh, I kind of wanted to start this journaling session off with some watercoloring, but at the time that I was filming this, I really didn't feel like watercoloring. I kind of forced myself to do this. And I guess I kind of was set up for failure to begin with because I, A, didn't use watercolor paper, and B, I think I used I use a different palette. This is my older Winsor & Newton palette, which is fine, and I think the paints are great. It's not artist grade actually. It's student grade paints, but just was not in the right mindset to paint, and you can kind of see that reflected in my paintings that day. I was trying to go for like monstera leaves, and then my second leaf just looked really odd. So I kind of gave up on that, and I was feeling really discouraged. So I kind of just went for a loosey goosey type, I guess, painting style. Like that's already the look that I was going for, but I was really half-assing this painting. I didn't even bother painting in the actual insides of the leaves, which actually look really cool, but the overall like aesthetic of this is a little bit different because I mixed my watercolors a little bit more thick, so they look a little bit streaky in person, and yeah, watercolor paper is just a lot nicer than cardstock, but that's all right because I kind of wanted to force myself to do some watercoloring because I've been working on like digital media a lot recently for like my personal fun, like creative time, and I wanted to incorporate some of that digital illustration into this spread. I actually used my LG Pocket Printer, which I haven't used in a while. Had to charge it for like a good hour before using this, but I ended up printing this illustration that I did of this guy watering his plants, and I actually learned how to animate this on Procreate. It's super rudimentary animation. I basically learned how to make the monstera leaves of this illustration move, and I'll be posting that on like Instagram soon. But I have been loving digital illustration as of late, and I want to push myself to do more of that because it's really fun, and I want to maximize the use of my Apple Pencil ever since I purchased it. But while the painting is drying, I went through my actual recycling bin. So this isn't just my scrap paper bin that I kind of use for decorative journaling and stuff. This is my legit like recycling bin underneath my desk. I was too lazy to grab my stack of like discard papers, and it worked fine because I actually found this really cool paper that had all of the different Midori inserts in there. And it was so lazy that I didn't want to get my phone or flip through my Midori, but I randomly grabbed my Switch to look for the current date, which is ridiculous. But I was feeling, I don't know. I don't know why I actually did that, but I kind of surprised myself here too because I wanted to incorporate some like thread work and like embroidery into the spread. I have never really sewn into like a journal spread before, so I thought, why the heck not? This is actually like my embroidery like kit that I brought. Well, I usually bring with me to school because I've in the past have taught kids how to do embroidery as like a fine motor activity since I do special ed, and yeah, I was like, oh, might as well try like sewing in my traveler's notebook. Like I've sewn inserts together to create junk journals, but I've never like incorporated like stitching into my insert as like a decorative element, and I just did a blind stitch. I think that's what it's called. I actually don't know what it's called. It's like the backwards blind stitch. I'm not sure, but it's a very basic stitch. You probably all know how to do it. I just don't know how to describe or like actually name what this stitch is called. And then I just looped it at the back. I just made like this really random line, squiggly line, and I wanted to make it look like I stitched that tearaway calendar sheet onto the spread. It looks pretty cool, but it's actually not stitched on there solely. I actually used some tape adhesive to make sure that is properly properly adhered. Properly stuck, properly adhered, is that the right word, onto the spread. My gosh, I can't speak today. And then I pulled out this creator box die cut, I think of a flower, and I colored it in with some yellow and orange and green pencil crayons, and I kind of layered that underneath the tearaway calendar sheet. So now we're gonna work on the right hand side of the spread. I actually cut down this this painting to fit one side of the spread, like how I normally do, and I realized that I didn't put enough leaves and different elements on the spread to make it full. So I just went in with 2 green pencil crayons and added some more leaves. And this is like typical Job stuff, adding leaves and starbursts. I used a pink, like a super bright pink pencil crayon to add the little starbursts, and then I pulled out this this vellum sticky note, and I wanted to do like a vellum tip in, but I was too lazy to grab my vellum, so I just used the sticky note and adhered the back. Well, I adhered the actual I think LG pocket print, yes, and then I added a little white background to it just in case I wanted to add some writing to it, but I in the future actually won't add anything on there. And then I added some stitching onto the spread. I just used the same like orangey rust color thread that I had, and I just added a few stitches here and there just to add that little element to the right hand side of the spread. And honestly, the stitching is something I want to incorporate more into the future. I just don't know like in what capacity. Like, do I just add random like designs like today, or do I actually go in and like pretend that this is actually a piece of cloth and embroider something onto paper? I don't know. There's a lot of like cool possibilities. I do think that using like thinner thread is a little bit easier on the paper, because I think if you use thicker embroidery floss, you will eventually create too big of a hole in the paper, and it'll cause a few like challenges and tears. So if you were gonna do this, I guess use like thinner thread. To complete the spread, I wanted to add a calligraphy element, so I scripted out the word soft vibes on the right hand side of the spread, just because the dude in the illustration just looks super chill and like vibey. I'm just saying buzzwords at this point, but you know what I mean. It has that certain feel to it. And then I did my journaling on the left hand side of the spread, and I also added a few washi strips onto the left hand side of the spread. On the top I added my wonky ledgers washi tape, and then on the bottom I added the creator box brown washi tape as like a vertical washi tape element, and then I added a large strip of grid washi tape. I think it's brown grid actually, from Daiso, and I've had that for years and it's amazing. But that's pretty much the completed spread. I think I added one more piece of washi tape, and this is from La Dolce Vita, and that company specializes in like these like lo-fi girl illustrations, if you know what I mean. It's just like very aesthetic, and it's just girls in different situations. So this one has a girl with a bike, and I think it adds to the very millennial feel of the spread. With the tropical plants and the millennial pink. It's just very millennial and very on brand for Joe, because these are two things that I love: millennial pink and tropical plants. And yeah, that's pretty much the completed spread. I hope you enjoyed this. It was really fun throwing this together, because it was fun like playing around with embroidery and kind of mixing two crafts that I enjoy, which is embroidery and journaling, into like one thing. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Before I end this video, I just want to throw a few things out there. First of all, I really want to do some live streaming on YouTube, or at least on YouTube or Instagram. I'm not sure. Leave a comment down below if you want to see like a live stream journal with me, because I would love to do that. but I just don't know which platform works best, as well as what time. So I've included a card. You can click the little eye that pops up right now to vote which time and platform you would like to see me live stream. And also, please check out the description bar for different resources and petitions that you can sign to support the Black Lives Matter movement. We can all do our part to dismantle systemic racism, and I thought that since I have this platform, I might as well talk about it because it's super important and we can all do our part. So be an ally and please do what you can, because I know everyone doesn't have the same capacity to be involved in it as some others, but we can still all do our part, no matter like what size or how big we contribute. So just do your part, even if it's just educating yourself about the situation and like the systemic racism in America and in your own country. I know I have a lot more to learn about my own like Canadian history and context, but I hope we all kind of learn together. You can also leave a comment down below if you want to share resources as well as different information and different petitions and stuff. I think that's it. Have a great day. You guys are all amazing, and I'm so happy to be part of such a fun and inclusive community. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.